Call order the EPUD board meeting Tuesday, August 26th. Roll call.
Patty Chapel,
Present.
Kurt Offenbacher,
Present.
Brian Parker,
Here.
Dale Olson,
Here.
Charles Kinder,
Here. Staff.
Kyle Rubin.
Wendy McKay,
Mark Aaron. Rob Courier.
Sarah Klein, Alicia Burgess,
Doug Aaron. Mitch Wagner. Kelly online from staff. Tommy Brooks. Kelly,
So Tommy Brooks from
Gail Houston.
Cable Houston is with us.
Tommy,
Any changes to the agenda timeline
don't think I have any.
for items?
Nope.
Public comment? Public speeding right through here.
We're out.
So the non-public executive session. Emerald Community will now meet in executive session. Executive session is held pursuant to ORS 192.6602H, which allows the governing body to meet in executive session to consult with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of the public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session. Welcome the audience back into the room.
Ready?
Return to the public session.
All right, we'll have Sarah come up and do our treasurer's report with Dale. Goes back on track time-wise. I started putting the timelines on the agenda items. Oh, really? So I can try to keep it on track.
I think I only noted the items on the first, so it should be fast. So the first one is the Maruka, which there's a picture.
Yeah.
I got to go out into the yard and see it in person. I haven't gotten to run it yet.
You got to see it up front. right?
We need video
I
of
saw
that. You guys have to get the video of Jay sitting on that machine.
Jake,
I saw it.
Yeah.
He's.
Jake's one of our biggest linemen.
He looks like a monster, looks like he's sitting on a Tonka toy.
That is,
It's a good picture.
Yeah.
one suggestion. Carry some big pads with you for the outriggers. Those are got little tiny,
Oh, really? Yeah.
if it's soft ground,
Yeah, there it'll go. We had it out yet, using it at all?
I think we did one,
Yeah.
that screw anchor down over the bank one, sorry, but,
Yeah, we did. Actually, Jason was gonna take me out to see it and it was gone.
yeah.
So we had to wait.
Oh.
So it is getting used, which is pretty cool.
It's definitely a wet weather rig, but we're finding ways to make it happen.
That's that right there.
No,
All right, well, so that's the fun one. The next one, oh, I guess I do have 4 items. The next one is payment to General Pacific, and the majority of that, almost $48,000 of that payment is for an individual transformer. It's a big one. It's a 750 kVA pad mount. The board approved that transaction through a resolution back on January 14th of this year. So that alone is kind of nice that lead times are a little shorter than we've been talking about in the recent past. Item number 4 is, I think, the last invoice you'll see related to the new borrowing. That was for our municipal advisor. And then item number 294 back in the electronic payments was to Safe Corporation. That's for our annual workers' compensation payment. That has a plan year of July 1 to June 30. So it's kind of a weird plan year. So that always comes in the middle of the year.
Am I
Well,
wrong?
that once a year.
We do that once a year.
Oh, I
Correct.
just never
At a
realized.
very strange time because of, I think, a lot of public agencies don't run on a calendar year.
Am I wrong if this is lower than last year's then?
It's lower than last year, and I mean, next year, we're anticipating our experience mod to go down, although I'm working on budget stuff and, you know, general costs are expected to increase, so. That'll be interesting to see how the actual,
Yeah.
next year's payment comes in. But half of this payment carries over into 2026, so half of the years is pretty low.
Gross pay is what gets rated on, so when gross pay goes up, the rate goes up.
It does, that's true too, yeah.
That hit us in 24, yeah,
That hit us big time in 24 with the storm because overtime counts.
yeah, yeah, overtime hit us hard, but that's, very few things ever go down, so that's a great, it's a great result.
Yeah,
for the
it's just-
system.
Our experience mod is
Yeah.
1.1.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes, trends look very good.
Be exciting. Remember when it was at 2 point something? That's all I had for you, so I'll turn it over to Dale.
I just have one question. I can't find it here, but I read it, the ductile pole, we're buying some more. Is that for stock for what we already got out, or we're doing another reconduct?
We keep some of them, we're actually starting to use them in certain situations where we can do standalone.
Where,
Yep.
okay,
And having them in stock for that, but also,
put them into the system.
yeah,
How many do we have for stock for like down?
up there, I don't have that on top of my head.
Maybe spot 15, it was,
We have 40s, we have 45s, 50s, so we have kind of a mixture of stuff. We found out we can use them in certain places, even put them in the ground right, they can be standalone, maybe not using as much guy.
If they do get hit, I've seen them. There's one on Jasper Lois opposite, Springfields. It didn't take much, they wrinkle.
Yeah, they're rated the same as a wood pole, you just get them, they last longer. So if somebody hits them,
Yeah,
they'll last.
replace them.
Yeah.
That's the only question I got.
I have a couple, I have three. First is item 17. Summit Energy Tech Corporation, all this infrastructure management services, management tech services.
They're.
What do they do?
Yeah, they're one of our external third parties that we use for IT stuff. Rob Roder's not here, so I can call it stuff and not get in trouble. They do a lot for us related to Short Mountain, but then also for EPED as well.
the big thing is the on-call service that we've relied on, so we have a very small IT staff, and so when things break in the middle of the night, we have them as kind of a backup to be able to do things on call.
Okay, then item 21. Cultural monitoring.
That was 60.
Oh,
Pardon?
I thought that was item number 60. I have that too.
Oh, do you?
I
Well,
wonder.
there might be two.
22,
Oh.
22, yeah.
Chronicle heritage, cultural monitoring. Is that where we have to investigate if there's artifacts for a new pole or something?
Yep,
I was wondering.
It's becoming more and more too.
tribes get involved.
Who gave it?
The bigger thing is the timeline just gets extended out ad nauseum, so. Yeah, it's expensive, but it also impacts our timelines.
30 days, we have to wait 30 days for them to respond. It's like that.
The other one's Ninja One, item 31. Ninja Advanced Pro.
Yes, that is also an IT thing. We'll get you more information when Rob's back in the office.
Yeah, we can get you an answer on exactly what that is doing for us. I think it's a
I see.
cybersecurity thing, but I can find out.
It's not a lunchtime game.
We can ask. It's
Yeah,
on
it-
Zach.
Yeah, I might be able to do a search in here. I might have put that on a previous report, so.
Okay,
It's item
I'll interrupt
60.
if I can.
yeah.
Oh, so that's a different, there's two different, so what you had,
For 60. Yeah.
it's the same stuff, different company.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Paleo West, yeah. I don't know
I got work order.
where those
for
concerns
job.
come from. I think there's a list of folks we can use for any of the archaeological stuff.
I forgot I got one more. 90 or 91 here, is this where we have to pay, 91, we have to pay this place a pole in the right of way?
It's for a permit.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That's that.
Any new construction now is a $500 permit. Goes to Lee County.
It's crazy.
Oh my God.
We try to be pretty discerning in terms of what constitutes new construction. If it's a whole placement that's not supposed to be part of this, and we make sure we don't pay them for that, but.
So is that one pole, Mark, $500? Are you kidding?
No, it's one, it's for the whole
It's for the
job.
whole job.
For the whole project?
Yeah,
Yeah.
job on the right. That was just implemented this year.
They want phase 1 to go phase 1A.
Yeah.
Not phase 2.
So my only question was on 14 Cable Houston, the condemnation annexation. I just wondered what that, what will we, yet?
That's
Cottage Grove discussion.
and then some of the discussions we've had
Okay,
about the cities.
okay,
Yeah.
We're tracking that separately.
Yeah,
okay.
we want to just know.
I
what
was
we're
just
spending.
curious.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for,
And- That description is probably the words that were on the legal bill,
Okay,
not necessarily our words.
I mean, that's good, because a year or two from now, whenever, then we can look in the whole financing picture, say, well, we've got
Yeah.
40 grand
What we got
invested
in it.
here,
Exactly.
and here's the list of our
Yeah.
costs
Absolutely, yeah.
Correct.
that we want, comes back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so.
Staff
good
time
to
also.
track that separately.
Right, we did the same thing when we had the sub issues. It's pretty easy to
Right.
do.
Okay. Any more
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
president's report, external organization? But the only thing I have is Okuda's. This Thursday, they sent out their new revised bylaws, which interesting reading if anybody wants to. It's
I've got it halfway through. So it's, it's really nothing dramatic. It's just the bottom line is that none of the elected board is going to ever get eyes on any transactions. That's up to the executive committee. And there's nobody's on the executive committee. I'm not even sure why we have a president now. In the last.
It'd be interesting to see how these monthly meetings continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping for lots of good stuff.
I don't know.
You know, I mean, we basically subtracted the elected board members from the organization. They're there only as figureheads.
like I'm supposed to be secretary treasurer. I'm sure as hell not gonna take notes or minutes. So, and the other is I'm supposed to oversee the budget finance. Well, they're doing it all,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I haven't got to the part where it says what happens to this treasurer.
well, I think
It's,
there's a treasurer on the executive committee. Since I've been assigned, so trying to do that. I think there's a board treasurer also. Is that what you're finding?
well, there's an elected official as a secretary treasurer.
Okay, yeah.
I don't,
I think we'll just work together on
I
this
don't-
and see how.
I don't do any of it, so.
Yeah.
Well, there's one question the bylaws are not going to answer. And that is, and I've asked this as we've gone through this process, is that the board is a GM and a delegate from the utility. And they cast one vote.
Right.
What if they don't agree?
Right.
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's very unlikely that's gonna happen, but we certainly should address it
Yeah,
in the bylaws.
I assume the board member wins at that point. They want to keep their job.
If you want your job. or not.
Yeah, I don't know, it's interesting to see the way who's migrating, I think, part of it has to do with, I gotta say, apathy on some of the other boards, they're just not wanting to get.
No,
involved.
absolutely, completely the problem.
Um,
And if I thought there was more in that, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But, when I talked to the other delegates about this, they were like, meh.
Yeah, yeah, which is a big change from 10 years ago. It didn't used to be that way.
I'm just hoping this transition helps the PUDs.
Yeah.
Right, that's
the
all
idea,
I
but
care
it'll
about
not
too.
benefit
Try to
you.
make it more effective.
I mean, really, if you think about it, probably isn't really any reason for us to attend meetings that. How can we just keep?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's real value in having some of the sharing that goes on there. I know there was conversation about keeping that linkage. It's helpful to know what other you doing with utilities.
I mean, that's what I get value from that.
Yeah. It's gonna be different, no doubt about that.
We'll see. Also says in there that the budget will be approved at the annual meeting, so whoever's doing it this year,
Who else going?
you've got a week
Okay,
to,
that's coming right up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Starts the
October.
ninth.
party.
It's October.
No, it's September this year. Yeah,
Yeah, it is coming.
and it's early, it's mid-September.
I saw the registrations, I think, when we're all registered, right?
I'm not.
You're not? So four of us are going?
So far. So far.
Kyle.
I better put the budget together, it sounds like.
You
I'll get
better.
right on that.
The only legislative update to me is, they're meeting, special session for transportation. I
Yeah.
don't think that affects.
I don't think it will, the only slight relation was if they try to cap and trade thing to pay for any of this stuff, and it doesn't sound like that's gonna.
Pretty good rate, the public's gonna be hit pretty hard by this.
Yes.
Yeah, triple the cost of registering a car.
Registration, gas tax.
Payroll tax.
Money, money, money. Payroll tax inside the ODOT, isn't it? It's not across the board.
Payroll tax for everybody's going up from
Everybody.
0.1 to 0.2%.
Yeah.
Gas tax going up 6 cents and registration's doubling. I don't think so. Apparently cost of living's not a real thing.
I don't know how the public's.
Things are better, aren't they?
I don't think there were any outside meetings. This general manager's report.
Okay, we're right back on schedule. We're right back on schedule. Good job.
What did your phone run?
I didn't give you, I'll start printing on yours if you want. I don't want to make you nervous. I don't want to make you nervous. I'm just watching us. All right, let me do my part to keep us on track. So, good to be back. This was the longest I've been off since I got this job. Had a great vacation with my family. Staff crew made it really easy. I actually did think about this place on that off. Maybe a couple times a week, but not for that long. So that was nice to get the mental break. Really incredible cultural experience, and wanted to share. I actually saw some pretty familiar utility scenes out there. For those of you that have seen these or traveled, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So you walk down the street and you gotta ask yourself, this can't be, our joint users aren't that bad, are they?
It's like attachment hell.
Looks like Houston, Texas.
I don't know who's
You know.
who's working that out, but we have our issues here, but it's not quite that bad. See, pretty much everywhere you go, it's like that too. It's like it's all over the place. I thought this was interesting. They've got like plastic tubes coming out of the thing there, and I don't know. Kind of looks like a recloser.
Fiber optic.
It's a three-phase transformer.
Is it a transformer? Okay.
Self-contained.
Seems very safe. This was my favorite. These guys are on a bamboo ladder. And they're right up there working on this thing. Hoping they don't fall off.
Bamboo's amazing.
I don't know. I don't know.
See,
It's all over the place. I saw some tree trimming. So these guys were out. I don't know what type of tree that is, but they were getting right into it. Getting things on the ground. Made me feel a little more like home with our tree guys walking around.
Bamboo doesn't conduct electricity.
Is that right? Yeah.
I'm better than you think.
Could be a good insulator, yeah. So that was fun. This is a wet market we went to. I don't have that many pictures, just a few here, but the infamous wet markets you can see out there.
Got one of you in your beard?
What is a wet market? What does that mean?
Live things
Oh.
and generally wet things on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
The only problem we had, the only problem we had was so you have to have a visa to go into Vietnam. My son's birthday on his visa application was reversed. So whereas we use day, month, everybody else uses month, day. I didn't catch that. We were boarding the plane and the gal says, wait, you can't go. So
Oh.
we had to wait at this terminal for I somehow found a travel agent that gave us an emergency visa, found a later flight. You know, or too many hundreds of dollars later, we were able to get there. My son got to ride business class because that was the only ticket available. He's very happy. Very happy. I said, don't get used to this, you know, and then again. We got to Vietnam, the immigration there is insane. So again, you pay somebody and they advance you to the fast line. I don't know who they're bribing, but we didn't have to wait in this line, luckily. This is Vietnam to me. This is the image that I think of. It's the night markets, it's the motorbikes, it's total chaos.
Totally going through at night.
And it's probably 90 degrees out there. Absolute chaos. I mentioned to some of you, this was a meal I had. I had a sandwich, I had a smoothie, and I had a coffee. It was 60 cents. Some of the best food I ever had.
What's the hotel room cost?
Very cheap. I don't know.
Oh, that's
We stayed in a nice spot. This is the last one. So this is us in a little town called Hoi An, which is near Da Nang, old kind of mercantile town. We did a little tour. That's us. We had a great time. There's my beard.
Somebody shaved it off.
You can tell I'm dead inside. It's just white everywhere right here. I finally got rid of it yesterday though, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, National Hydropower Day was Sunday. I don't know if you knew that. That's a big deal. Want to celebrate hydropower. A couple things I want to put on the record here. For 140 years, hydro's been the most reliable renewable resource. It has baseload characteristics, generates 24/7, easily dispatchable, and we can not only have the lights turn on, but keep them on because of hydropower. This is kind of a cool chart of all the hydro across the country. You can see we dominate here in the Northwest. There's also quite a bit down in California and the Southwest. And more than I expected out east, actually. 17 fleets worth of hydro out that way.
Down in the Caribbean there.
That doesn't count Quebec's power either, does it?
No, this is big US,
Big
yeah.
US,
Yeah.
100%.
There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of hydropower we all rely on. Why is that important? I wanted to point this out. Many hydropower facilities are at risk of retirement. This is the relicensing requirements that are coming up over the next 15 years. And 15,700 megawatts of capacity. Many of these have already said we're not going to relicense. It's too much trouble. There's too much risk involved. So this is a big problem as we're trying to solve our power supply issues out there. The hydro we got is crucial to being able to make that happen. We're not going down a good road here in terms of making that easy.
A lot of talk in the national news about shortages of power.
Yeah.
All from all over
Yeah.
the place.
So meanwhile, I don't know if you saw this, but our governor had a big press release yesterday. It says that she's signed bills to lower energy costs for Oregonians. Many folks from the legislature signed on to this thing. So what does it actually say? What did they actually do to lower energy costs? So first of all, they had this thing called the Power Act, which is designed to make data centers, crypto mining operations pay their fair share for infrastructure. Dig into this. Portland General Electric, Pacific Port, they already do this. There's already rate schedules that are designed to allocate these costs appropriately. This is a red herring, so we can say that we did something. And meanwhile, rates have doubled for most investor-owned utility customers in this state. We want to find something we can do, so we're going to do this about data centers. The other one was the Fair Energy Act, which protects consumers by limiting how often utilities can raise rates and keeping them from doing so high demand months. Worthy goals. But is this really helping anything? In my mind, it's shifting rate increases from one month to another.
Well, it's just for IOUs.
It's only for IOUs, yeah. But it's also adding complexity, who wants more stuff on their bill from their utility when you're talking about an investor? And there's more compliance costs. So this is the kind of stuff that our state looks at and says, hey, we're actually helping make utility bills more affordable. Meanwhile, we're not addressing all of the renewable requirements. We're not addressing any of the stuff that we put on utilities to have to deal with these cost increases initially. So that's my little spiel. I thought that was interesting. As we celebrate Hydropower Week, we also have our state coming out and saying we're doing things that aren't actually helping the situation. FEMA funding updates. It's been a little bit of a mixed bag here. While I was gone, we got an email from OEM, which is our FEMA kind of go-between. And they have said that they are concerned that we have projects at risk on the hazard mitigation front. So they identified 4, I think, which are Mainly underground jobs, so Kennedy Lane, Mohawk River Road, which are both in progress right now. We've got excavation contractors ready to go. Taylor Butte and Williams Creek, we're also planning to do those next year. What does this mean? You know, we had applied for these many years ago. They're in our capital plan. We're gonna plan to do them regardless, but we sure were hoping to get some money back from FEMA. It doesn't look like that's probably gonna happen at this point. These are still good projects. You know, there's still areas that would help us when there's a major event or just in general increase reliability. So they're still on the docket, but we're not gonna be counting on FEMA funding.
Yeah, I saw an article this morning that NOAA is basically killing all hazard mitigation funds.
I saw that too, yeah. I don't think in the future we're gonna be able to count on that as a
Anything
funding source.
that.
Yeah, definitely not FEMA related. And on the other side, on our public assistance claim, the ice storm request, we're still in the queue. We completed the environmental and historic preservation review in July. These are the steps we still have to go through. I don't know if it's been submitted yet, but it has to go to FEMA's system of record. Congressional notification for 30 days. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary has to approve it now. Then the funds get obligated, sent to OEM, and then eventually we think we get paid. So we'll see.
Let's hold our breath.
We'll see. 2026 budget update. We have completed the first round of budget inputs. We just talked about that, Rob and Sarah and I, before we got in here. So we've got a baseline now. We're going to refine those over the weeks ahead, start to put them together, see how far off we are on our targets. We've talked to you about some of our assumptions that we're trying to put in place. And this is how we kind of marry the bottoms up now with the top down and discussing. Reminder of the decision-making timeline for the board. We hope to get the budget proposal to you by sometime late September, in advance of the first meeting on October 7th, that we will review the budget. We'll make a presentation. You can ask questions. That'll be the first chance to dig in. The committee, the Finance and Rates Committee, will meet as a big group on October 14th in our lunchroom that night. We have a second meeting we can use if we need to for that. And then the board will have another discussion October 21st. We'll hear from the committee representative, the chairperson, and then the board can have further discussion. We have penciled in a final vote on November 18th. Of course, that can be flexible if there's any questions leading up to it. But that's the current schedule for the budget. So coming right up here as we go into the fall. Public Power Week 2025. Glad Christine's here. She can vouch for all this. So we're going to be hosting coffee events again the week of October 6th. We've got these all lined up. So we'll be in Bonita, Crestwell, Cottage Grove, Pleasant Hill, Junction City, and Marcola. This is going to go out in Power Lines next month, so everybody will be able to see that. We're also doing the crossword. This was very popular last year. We did a giveaway for folks. The coffees themselves have been extremely popular. We've got great social media uptake on that. Everybody loves to shout out UPED when they go through and get their coffee there. So if you have any questions about these or.
So when it says it's Cup of Joe in Bonita, that's a drive-through.
I think so, yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah,
I know for sure.
Okay.
But so we're paying for the coffee or what?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
so you want to explain how it works exactly mechanically?
Yeah, first 50 customers
First 50.
basically come through and we'll pay for their coffee. And if I remember right, Stu and Wendy, we have a little branded
Some-
coffee sleeve that goes with it, that so they know what this is all about, recognition. And then we partner with each of these companies and ask them to try and take some pictures for us so we can share it on social media and
That's
just.
Yeah, I was
It's
curious. I
fun.
thought, well, that's a drive-through. Are we gonna have a little booth next to the
Yeah,
drive-through
no,
or what?
I think most of these are drive-throughs.
You don't have to say nothing, you just, first 50
Yeah.
drives up, give me my coffee. They go, yeah, I got free coffee, they don't even know.
Well, we try to advertise it ahead of time, so hopefully a lot of the folks that are going
Secret
are
pass.
going because, yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what we should do.
Give them a faster. It's not too complicated.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the first year we thought about, do they have to show a bill or something? It just gets very complicated. So, yeah, these are small.
I think they did that when I did it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, most.
I don't get it. I think so, yeah, especially. I know.
It's good.
So that's coming up. One more minor thing here. It's a big deal for us. So we have, for those of you that aren't familiar, we have an apprenticeship training group that we participate in. This Thursday is their monthly meeting. This is called the Joint Apprenticeship Training Committee, JATC. It's a state sanctioned group, so Boley kind of oversees all the apprenticeship training in the state. They have given us the ability to run our own program. We do that with Sub, Lane, and Blatchley. So there's 4 utilities that kind of run apprentices through this program. The group oversees the local apprenticeships, so there's monthly check-ins. They, say how many hours do you have in the job? How are you doing on your overall scores from your fellow linemen or substation folks? So it's a good chance to get in there and just make sure everybody's performing the way that they're supposed to. This Thursday is a big meeting for us. I thought I would just share it with you. We have one individual, Ray Yeager, who's topping out, will be a journeyman.
All right.
It's a long 3.5 year journey to make that happen. He has been with us for actually a lot longer than that as a tree trimmer.
Right, started there.
And I'm really proud of Ray because he applied for this apprenticeship multiple times and it took him a while to get this. To see him now at the end is really very cool. So I'm gonna go, Mark and I are gonna go over to Lane Electric, which is where they're hosting this one on Thursday, and see him top out officially, which is very cool. And we have one other, a new indentured apprenticeship starting. So at the same time, we got one topping out, we've got another one going in, which is very exciting. Ross Gast is his name. He's also a former tree.
Are you allowed to say indentured?
I don't know. It's the, we confirm that.
We do.
That's a relic, but that's what we.
They better watch out, Scott will be looking to rob.
Well, he's not gonna be there, I heard, so that's
Okay,
perfect. And I told him he could try, but you better watch out for those coming this way.
I know, that's what I told him.
Don't fist fight, a GM fist fight.
No, we get all.
Send all the paragraph.
Okay, that's it. Next is, we've got a meeting next week. I just want to confirm this is still gonna work for everybody. We have a workshop scheduled. This is the day after Labor Day, so we're fine doing it, but I know it's a quick pivot.
Why so early?
Well, we thought we'd do it at 1 because we were gonna do a system tour. So, this is when that was scheduled. This is flexible, so let's talk about what you wanna do. Our proposal was to maybe have an hour, just a brief meeting. There's a couple topics on policy things we thought we'd cover. And we've got the party bus rented out again, so we can get y'all out to check out I think we're gonna do the transmission line this year and a couple things out west of upgrading.
You have a glass ceiling so we can look up.
We heard it was hard to hear last year, so Doug's gonna get a microphone in your ear and you can, I think they'll just sit closer.
I'd like to be on that, but I work until 3, I can get off an hour early.
Okay,
I'm working
well, that'd be great if you
for the
wanna
chamber.
meet us out there maybe.
Yeah, where are we gonna go?
We'll be out your way.
Oh,
So,
yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can pick you up. We can pick you up. But yeah, we thought we'll probably get out there around 2:30 or so.
Yeah.
If that works.
Yeah.
Okay. But is that early time work okay? I know that's,
It's fine.
yeah, 1 o'clock. Okay.
One,
Well, we thought we'd start here just to cover a couple policy things that we wanted to have approved. In
Then you can stick me up.
September. So we'll plan on that. And if things come up or if this doesn't work for you, just let me know, but that's the way that we'll plan on.
That'll work.
Excited to show off all the work that's happened out there. That new transmission line, we'll look at the ductile
Yeah,
iron.
It's operational now,
Yep.
the one that's.
The ones that went up
Yep.
territorial,
Yep.
yeah,
We'll show you where we interconnect with Blatchley, what Bonneville's doing to reconduct their stuff, so it'll be a good trip.
So everything's out north.
I think just this time it'll be, last year we actually went down your way, so we do like every year a different part of this, but.
Marcola yet.
No, every 32 years.
Yeah. That's not important.
We got close to
You got
Marcola.
28 to go, Charles.
We got close to Marcola, but yeah, we'll have to go all the way up to the county line maybe,
Yeah,
maybe next year.
Russian Creek.
nothing to write.
I'm curious up that valley, must be a real problem because I bicycle up there once in a while.
Oh.
There's always at least one EPA crew up there doing something.
That's what they nap, they don't wanna be found.
It's a ways up there, yeah.
Hide the trees. You don't get votes or it's great.
Yes.
I shouldn't make that joke, somebody listen.
Oh, okay. We have an update on Ninja One for,
Hey, are you ready? It's the annual remote management of servers, desktops, laptops, etc. It handles patching, remote access, and several other items.
so it's a way that if there's a problem, our IT staff can log in remotely to a computer, they don't have to actually be there. Makes it a lot easier for them.
I did very efficiently about that.
You know, something pretty standard now for IT stuff.
And
Thank you.
the lesson here is don't ask about IT stuff.
No, do.
No, please do. They have the very strange name.
We've had this discussion
Yeah.
before. Amalgamated
Yeah, there's plenty.
in our budget. Is it amalgamated? Because, I mean, depending on what it's used for, it could be assigned to that area and not to IT.
Yeah.
There's some of that too, yeah.
It's,
Can be challenging to decide.
it's
Well, the world,
pretty
it's
extreme.
different too. You don't just buy a piece of software, right? Now you have to subscribe to it. So we have all these subscriptions that we never used to have.
$5 once, but you build for the rest of their
Yeah,
life.
they pulled one over on everybody. Got to do that. That's the end of my report. Alicia is gonna give you a quick update and maybe just overview of some guidelines that we have for sponsorships and donations. So historically, we've tried to be as equitable as we can across the whole district so that we're spending money and time on events that, you know, are kind of spread out, but that's become a little more difficult now that we've got more things going on in one area than another. So she's gonna go through kind of what her thoughts are and Christine's thoughts on. So,
Yeah.
welcome, Christine.
Yeah, Christine's here. Christine is the one who gets all of the requests as our communications coordinator. So she's the one that sees all of these things coming through. And, you know, as we've been talking about with our communication strategic plan, different things that we want to focus on, one of the things we want to focus on is our involvement with our communities and our engagement with our customers. And so, excuse me, what we've been looking at is the current guidelines right now are kind of unusual and we feel like they're a little bit limiting. So these have been in play for a really long time. They currently state for public education in the subjects of safety, conservation, and other utility issues that need to be communicated. So this is what she's working with. When she gets a request, this is what she's had to try and gauge. Is it something that we should participate or donate or sponsor? Again, this has been in play for a long time.
Is that
So-
from the board policy manual?
I don't think it was ever policy.
No.
No,
I think
okay.
it was just guidance.
Right,
So,
this is written down somewhere?
yes, it's been passed down
Somewhere.
communication
Right there.
over and over,
You
and
got a lot of content.
letters that we've used to customers in response, so written response,
Got it,
this has
okay.
been the same language and the same guidelines that we've used forever, and so we just kind of feel like there's some opportunities here to make some improvements, and with that, I think it'll provide some opportunities for us to increase our our involvement overall and support. So right now, you know, the history of it is we've done a bunch of things from sponsoring, attending, hosting events. We've done small donations, things like gift baskets, emergency preparedness kits for raffles or fundraising options. We've done $100, $200 sponsorships for city banners, chili cook-offs. Remember that? What was the Grange one, the Pomona?
Oh, the People's Choice Award.
Yes, and we thought we put that in your district because we thought that's where it was, and it turns out it's kind of applies to the whole area, so it's not one district in particular, but things like that, we've done that over the years. One of the things that we saw though, even though we've, you know, historically been really involved, when the pandemic hit, events took a hit. And so for obvious reasons, right? But then when the pandemic started to wind down and people started getting more active, we didn't see everything come back. And so there have been events that have been permanently canceled that we would have previously participated in. And that does make it so it has decreased our opportunities to be out there with our customers. And that means we have to put more effort into trying to find ways to connect. So our goals with trying to change or modify some of these guidelines would be to increase our reconnect with our communities and increase our involvement. So, you know, our mindset on that is going back to, we want to be a part of our community. We want to show that we genuinely care about the people we serve. And we think that this is a direct connection to helping our customers trust us, view us as reliable and trustworthy. If we're actively supporting our communities, it helps increase in customer engagement, which you know from all the customer surveys we've been doing and the different studies and initiatives, that's a big focus for us right now. So we want to keep that going. And then the other thing is we have some really important strategic initiatives and priority projects that we've been talking about here as of late. And strong customer connection is going to be really important through that. So again, how can we get out there? How can we be present? How can we have people see that we are part of this community and support it? The other thing that we want to be doing is look for opportunities to expand this into smaller groups and events. Right now, there's been a big focus on highly visible, different events, things like parades, right? You get a lot of PR from just going through a parade, or a lot of people see you. But what we feel is that there are other opportunities that might not be as highly visible, but are still impactful and are still mutually beneficial. So smaller groups, smaller events, those are things that they usually request small amounts. And so it's a small amount for us, but a big impact for them. And we think that if we modify those guidelines, that'll help. So ideas for new guidelines. We are trying to expand some suggested or recommended language that we have on here would be that sponsorships and donations first be within the communities we serve, provide a financial benefit to the community, such as a fundraiser, food drives, clothing drives, be for the betterment of the community. So education opportunities, emergency preparedness events, career fairs, and or help demonstrate that EPID is a contributing and supportive member of the community. So parades, ice cream social, chamber business after hours, concerts in the parks, or in the park. These are things where there are times when it benefits us to be out there because we get some PR from it. And sometimes it's just good to be there and just show that we're a part of the community. Sometimes it's great for education, right? We just recently participated in an emergency preparedness event in Cottage Grove. It's a great opportunity for us to start talking to customers about how they can help prepare themselves for different outages and stuff.
So concerts in the park, I see that Benita's doing this now, so if we're there, how are we gonna be there? We're gonna have, we're EPOD
That's a
or?
great question, and that's one of the things that we do,
Typically,
yeah, when we try to figure out what the
Where our
event
shirt
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Kelly
He's the
is,
guy.
Kelly and her team play a big part in this too.
Uh-huh.
And when we have an idea or request for an event, that's one of the things that we've started talking about is, okay, what's gonna be our purpose in being there? And sometimes.
How are they gonna know we're there?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just as simple as an ice cream social, nothing more, just being present and supporting. And other times we're there to provide education. So it might be something on our energy services, it might be
Sure.
something like regarding outage preparedness. And then based on what we're gonna do, that then helps determine what we're gonna set up, what it's gonna physically look like when we're there. So we have a lot of logos, supplies and stuff. Wendy does a lot of the work on all the work on our career fairs, so she's kind of fine tuning what that display looks like, but it varies per event. So, oh, go ahead. No. So we were thinking this language would, one, provide a little bit more clarity, some flexibility, but kind of cover these areas that that we want to be hitting on and participating more. If we do this, we think it'll help with just even things like a small sports team, you know, some things like the local baseball team or small baseball team wants help with, you know, $100 donation. Sometimes little things like that come through. School supplies, we would be able to do that now with the clarification on the guidelines as we build it. Okay.
Benita just built their pickleball courts,
Oh,
and they just had a pickleball tournament.
nice.
I know, so I mean,
Are the neighbors at war with each other or?
no, I think it's a done deal, so,
So,
and I know exactly who you're talking
you know
about.
about the noise though,
The
like,
noise.
I do know about that, but I think Lolly and what's his face, Zekas are gonna be just fine.
good, alright.
The other thing I would just mention is that we feel like this will help build and strengthen our relationships with the community organizations and students as well.
Mhm.
The other thing we wanted to run by you is a new idea to increase community support. As Kyle mentioned, you know, we try to spread it out as much as we can, but some districts just do more events. Cottage Grove, they got a lot of activities going on, and that just means that there's more for us to participate in. So this is an idea to try and spread out and make an impact throughout each of the board districts. And basically what it is during the 40th anniversary, we had all these different things going on to get out there and be present. And one of the things that we did was we provided employee volunteer opportunities. And we reached out to several different organizations within the districts and said, you know, what kind of help do you need? Do you need help in any capacity? What does that look like? And we had several respond, and our employees stepped up, they volunteered, we went out there and we put in some time and effort to help them with some of these things. Out in, I think it was Junction City, we did some sorting food at multiple food pantries. You were out there, right? We did, I think, food for Lane County. I believe out in Bonita, we painted one of the rooms in the community center that they've been wanting to get to for a really long time, and just haven't been able to. We had linemen out there painting just
The
to help
community
them.
center's so great out there.
Yeah, we had, I think it was out in Pleasant Hill, I think we had helped a school remove a dead tree. And then I think we did some sorting and organizing and clothing donations. This was, a little bit of time for our employees, but again, a big impact for these organizations. They really appreciated it. And it was a good experience on all sides. It was rewarding for our employees. We got to promote it on social media, which is great for us, but it also is great for those organizations. Some of those organizations, they don't get a lot of social media attention or just media attention in general. So it was a way for us to boost those as well. So we are wanting to mirror that same concept and basically work with each of you. You know your district's the best, you know what areas, what organizations might need help. And so what we were thinking is once a quarter, we'd pick one of your districts and we'd rotate through each one. And essentially work with you to find out, is there an organization within your district that could use some help? And if they can, communications team would then coordinate, just like we did for the 40th, identify what the date, time, staffing needs, and then get out there and do the work. So once a quarter, an opportunity for employees to participate, but then it would also create an opportunity for each of you if you wanted to volunteer as well. And then same thing, we get an opportunity to boost that organization, we get an opportunity to show what we're doing on social media. So kind of a win-win.
I'm not whining, I'm just stating fact.
Okay,
You're whining.
My area has a little part east side of Cresswell. Other than that, we don't have a town.
Yeah, it's always been a hard part.
Yeah.
So
Little bit of the city at all.
there's nothing.
You can have Marcola.
yeah.
You have Hill, people
I
think
have
that's a town.
Lots of contacts
Mhm.
and I have ideas of where our presence could be shown
Yeah.
effectively. So if somebody would contact me, I've got quite a few ideas. I hate to see Lane Electric all over the place. out
Yes,
there.
me too.
Just have a little part of it.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
They were at that scholarship thing you were at.
yeah, we got out. Yeah, we gave 5,000, they give 5,500.
Yeah.
So we're.
Never again.
Well, you're hitting exactly on what we wanna do.
So-
You know your area, so we wanna
I've got-
partner with you.
Yeah.
Overall, one thing I would like to see that is, to any, particularly this would be school related, is somebody, I've been going to do it, Bonneville has a whole program for learning where electricity comes from.
Yeah.
And our kids, our little kids need to, they don't have the foggiest idea where
Yeah,
the electricity, other than the switch on the wall,
Yeah, big
so.
old lineman with his turnout, all his gear and his hat and all that'd be pretty cool for a
Yeah.
little kid.
yeah.
And Bonneville has it, but somebody
That makes
needs
it
to
so
get a
We
hold
used to
of
use
it.
some of that.
We actually have some
Yeah.
for in the
Yeah.
works for 2020, the 2025, 2026 year. It's actually an organization that you turned us on to, AEF, which I cannot remember what it stands for right now.
It has-
Too.
It's education in the classrooms. It's
Right.
partnering with the teachers.
So
to
they
get-
know where they don't know where their electricity comes, they don't know where their sewer goes. either,
thing
but
that I
that's not us.
Yeah.
The thing that I've seen in the past when we were trying to do that was to get the response from the teachers.
Right.
Mhm.
In the science departments to like get it rolling, so that might take some real,
Yeah.
you know, or.
The
Yeah.
benefit to partnering with an organization like NEF is that they can help, small organization. Sometimes it does require a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration to get it going, and this organization can really help with that and move it forward and get it going. And they've done this multiple times. They do it for
Yeah.
a lot of schools and
Right.
and a lot of utilities, so it.
You know, it might be helpful if you guys could put some kind of little blurb together. I was just thinking, I can just go and talk to the superintendent there.
Mhm.
And, push it in the ear of, high school or junior high. And how far down it trickles, so if you guys put something like that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, the schools is a real opportunity. I think we can start relating to.
Yeah.
Our teachers now are so held to the adopted curriculum.
Yeah.
I mean, this week they do this week they do that. My neighbor's a middle school teacher in Eugene. And they used to go over to EWIP on tour. He said they can't get no transportation now and it's not in their curriculum.
Yeah, we may have to go to them then.
So a lot of these teachers want to, but they're,
Yeah,
restricted, so, but I think it's a long-term.
No, we need to do it. That's why I
Yeah.
was so excited when I saw that presentation from that group. I
Yeah.
thought,
It's a
this
good
is
idea.
perfect, educate that
Well,
we want.
We've got schools flagged for a couple different reasons. One, for the working with NEF to get the education going. We've also though flagged them as wanting to partner with them from the career fair standpoint and getting these younger students aware of the career opportunities within the utility industry. So doing more of that as well, letting them know about our scholarships. So we're trying to get more connection with schools from home.
So I saw YouTube, so Tillamook has, they sponsor a car in the Pig and Ford races.
Yeah.
It's got Tillamook PUD on the side of it,
nice.
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It's an option.
But
Well,
I-
it sounds like there's a lot here and we've got some energy behind it. We want to start to follow through with, so.
It's a great opportunity for us to double down.
Yeah,
Excellent engagement. we're getting.
it's kind of what separates us from the IOUs. is We're gonna come and show up in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, great, yeah.
There's another benefit that comes in play. You get people inside the organization that volunteer, you'll get a lineman
Mhm.
that never, ever talks to somebody
Yes.
from customer service except for an all-step. Actually, I don't even talk to them, they just look at them like, who's that? And then they work for them for a day and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, they get to, hey, she's not that bad, you guys should. I
That's
mean, it does, it does a whole lot.
That's one of the only times that we actually get that interaction, that and job interviews.
And storms.
Yeah, it's long.
So that's what we have. We wanted to run those ideas by you and let you chew on it. Maybe we can check on it and see if you have any additional thoughts. Those are things that we looking to move forward
If
with.
you have specific ideas for your area, especially Kurt, that would be great to learn about, so we'll follow up and make sure we get that.
And the game plan would be just one quarter or one district a quarter. So we would get to everybody. We would just work our way through each district.
You can get that, some sort of a small blurb together. Now that the school year is just getting ready to start, this is the time to like try to get it at least. Hello, do you people know that we're gonna do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether or not it's whatever part of the district you do it, but at least get a placeholder maybe.
Well, you do have to, I experienced this with Rob, was there, at concert in the park. Once we start doing this and people know that, hey, you put dig in on this. I mean, that lady that rolled up, and I said, I just told her, we're not doing that. Just flat,
We get a
What you
lot of.
want?
I can't even remember, but it's crazy.
Funny, what else?
Well, yeah.
We get a lot of requests.
Your truck wash thing.
Yeah,
You guys are doing
Wash
these,
your
we're
trucks out.
not doing this.
like that. Yeah, we get a lot, so we'll keep that filter. We don't want to be doing everything, but it's just a better lens.
So we're gonna spend more.
Well, we'll bring that,
emphasis in
we'll,
community outreach.
we'll bring, as part of the budget process, kind of a rundown to how will this look in practice, and I don't think we're gonna have a huge budget increase, but I think it's gonna be a little broader in terms of how. we
More
apply
equalized.
this. Yeah.
Well, and I think what the first year will be really important for tracking to see what kind of opportunities, what kind of requests and which ones we participated in or supported. And then that'll help us with next year's budgeting too, so we can determine if we do need to make any changes there.
So EPUD is a sponsor in the chili cook-off that's coming up
Yeah.
in Veneta. So it'd be fun if EPUD put, somebody cooked chili and was a contestant in that too.
Think about that.
Mark said he would do it.
Mark, could do it.
Brandon loves that
That's a great
stuff.
cook.
Yeah, Now's, say Now's. That's a camera thing.
Now let's put some ketchup.
That might be a treat.
All right.
Thank you,
So,
Christine.
Thank you, guys.
With adjustments.
Okay, well, I'll hand this back to you.
Great.
All right.
Go again.
Okay, so let me catch this up right here.
Yep.
This is gonna be short.
So this is gonna be really short. Back in the July board meeting, we discussed the compensation review and the results from that. And really, we spent a lot of the time talking about the challenges with compensation review and trying to be a leader in pay. So today we're just giving you a quick update because in that meeting, we said, hey, we'll come back to you in August with a little bit more information. So that's what today is, just to give you a quick update. Just as a reminder, what our current compensation process is, we collect current wage data and COLA data or upcoming COLA data from Oregon and Washington utilities during the summer timeframe. And then this would include now, as our recent processes, that includes a position by position wage analysis as well. So we compare to market for each position. Then we use that data to make a wage and COLA recommendation for the upcoming budget year. And then typically those changes, COLA, both and wage, go into effect on January 1. During the meeting, we talked about the challenges with being a leader in pay, and the big thing is the timing. It kind of actively works against us in the time that we're doing it. The reason why is we're over here doing it during the summer months, but a lot of utilities are doing it later on, and then they're making their changes in around the second quarter. When they get ready to make their change, they already know what we've set for the year, and they're using that information to then price up. Not every utility, but a lot of utilities.
Oh.
And so
Guaranteed.
yeah, so what that looks like on this side of it is we, get all this information, we set the rate, we strive for being a leader in pay or the higher end, specific to the lineman rate, right? And then we get it there, January 1, we're right there on the top, and then by the end of the second quarter, we drop down considerably because all those new rates go into effect and they priced above us. So it's a challenge, and I would note that compensation is a snapshot in time. So it's not something that we can guarantee that we're gonna be the leader in pay at any moment in time, but we do wanna try and maintain a higher end or leader in pay, and this makes it really challenging. And I think one of the unintended consequences here is that lineman wage locally might be climbing faster than what's really needed because we're all pricing on top of one another. So that's what we spent a lot of time in the July meeting talking about. One side note that's a little bit different, we did do different process in 2024 where we did our changes in January 1, but then we did a mid-year adjustment too. In this case, it was less mid, but did November adjustment, but that was something a little bit different than what we've done in the past. And so I just wanted to call that out really quick. Since the July meeting, we just wanted to give you an update on what our action plan is on what we want to do to try and address some of these issues and move forward with this year's adjustments as well. So we have partnered with HR Answers, which you've probably heard that name multiple times. They've done salary surveys for us over the years, but they've also been the ones that we've been partnering with over the last couple of years to create a more consistent and defined compensation process as well as tool. So you probably heard your name through through those updates that we've been giving you as well. They are very knowledgeable on compensation, best practices, and they've helped us build a tool. We're tapping into that knowledge and having them help us come up with some recommendations on how do we address some of these issues that we're facing. Just to call out though, so you're aware, one of the things we have considered or are currently considering is changing the timeline, either for when we do the review, the wage change, and or the COLA. So that is something that we're considering. A couple of timeline options that we've thrown out for consideration, or that we're working through, I should say, to see if there's value in. One of them would be the mid-year wage adjustment. It's similar to what we did in 2024. So basically we make our best prediction with the data available during the summer months. We implement it on January 1, and then we wait and see what all those wage changes do, and we do another adjustment if needed later in the year. It breaks the increase into smaller parts and can help maintain leading wages throughout the year. Again, not a guarantee at any moment in time that we're the leader, but hopefully more consistent throughout the year. Another option is specifically tying it to April 1. That's where a lot of utilities have their collective bargaining agreement timeframes set for around the April time. So we could match that. This would look like altering all of our wage changes. So that would include COLA and any market wage adjustments, and just hold and do it, make them effective April 1. That would be a big change. We've never done that before that I know of. It could prevent the issue of every utility using one another's data to set the new rate. But it doesn't mean it's a guarantee that our final wage would be the leading wage. And what I mean by that is essentially you're not really using everybody else's data to set your new rate. You're making your best guess on where you think it's going to land, and our best guess might not be the top. So that it's not a perfect system, but it might help from having those rates just keep jumping higher and higher. Or maybe faster than they need to, I should say. And then the other option is January 1 wage adjustment, which is essentially the current process. And that would be continuing that timeline that we've done for years and put everything in play on January 1. But again, the downside to this is if we do that, other utilities can use that information. So HR Answers is really going to be focusing on this particular timeline and the issues that come with it and seeing if there's a way to address it without having to change the timeline. So that's what they're working on for us. The plan is to then come back in here in September, in the September board meeting with some recommendations on what we think is best based on the work with HR Answers. And then we've got 3 decisions that we're gonna wanna be working on in that board meeting. One of them is, I think it'll help if we can better define our target. So we refer to it either as a leader in pay or higher end. We'd like to get some clarification on what that means. So that would include or could include things like being the leader in pay, meaning we're striving to always be the top. Or it could be the 75th percentile, meaning second or third. Or very similar, being in the upper half of the 6 local utilities. And when I'm talking about this is specific to the lineman rate. So, because we are comparing to the local utilities. So if we can get some clarification on there, on how we want to define it, that'll help us each year as we try and identify what rate we would need to set. And then the other decision point we would like to do is talk about this timeline and figure out what kind of timeline we want to use for all future compensation review and adjustments. And then specific to this year, we made a decision on what we want to do with the 2025 wage adjustments. And just as a quick reminder, that we covered this in the July board meeting, but it was the analysis that we did this summer just resulted in 1 non-lineman position being under market. It was a small adjustment. It was maybe 1 or 2 ranges, if I remember right. And then that lineman role had dropped from being first place in January down to 4th place by June. So those are the 2 areas that we flagged with this recent compensation review, and we'll just want to decide how we want to handle that for this year, and then what we want to do for future years.
How much did the lineman get now?
William, I don't have that right off the top of my head.
Hourly,
And for
Just
those
guessing.
mid-60s,
Yeah.
mid-60s.
So when, oh, go ahead. When is the COLA? When does that data come out from the state? I know there's urban, rural.
Oh, the CPI data?
Yeah,
When,
I think the earliest you start seeing data is September, and it starts
It's
rolling
it's
through after
monthly
that.
that we tend to grab, I think the one in September is kind of the benchmark. And then we have other things we look at too. There's other compensation surveys. They survey
Right.
employers to say, what are you doing for a COLA? So.
And then when HR is reaching out to, because we do our own internal survey, we ask every single utility that we're surveying what they predict is gonna be their goal. So,
this one thought is to have a January 1, just a hard increase based completely on CPI. I mean, no,
Right.
just if it's 2.3 or 3.8, whatever it is, that's the increase. And then July 1.
Yeah.
After all the unions have negotiated their increase, then we match
You're kind of,
whatever range that's decided on.
Yeah.
Then
you're
we
reading my mind. That's exactly where I went on this whole thing. If we want to avoid this, sharing our secret sauce before the April, May timeframe, I think we just wait on that second adjustment and do that after everybody else has. Kind of what we've tried to do here, but we.
in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be probably the scenario that we come up with. It's just do a basic COLA January 1st.
a hard
And then,
number
yeah.
that say, here's what the state's saying it is. So there's no,
That way, if others are comparing to us when they do their adjustments, they're not gonna get the whole story, and it hopefully will
Something like
perpetuate
that.
this spiral.
So in your general manager meetings or the GM meetings.
Yeah.
Have you ever brought this issue up?
A couple of times, but it's a weird thing. Actually, one of the early responses from this HR Answers was like, we all just need to get together and decide that you're not gonna keep doing this. And I said, well, it sounds a little like collusion. It's probably illegal if we, artificially keep wages down.
Yeah.
But it's a real problem, and you know, to think that we're not always looking at each other, that doesn't have an impact, it certainly does.
And it doesn't become an arms race.
Yeah, yeah, so I think there's some stuff we can do, like Kurt's talking about, to try to break the cycle, but it's not gonna be perfect.
Right.
But I think it'll help improve
You
things.
get your COLA, then you get your wage adjustment.
Yeah, that way we're not putting in the full-fledged thing.
If necessary.
Yeah, that's where the position by position
Yeah.
analysis comes
Yeah.
in. So we do that for all positions, including line related ones, but then we do the linemen to our local one too. So we have a lot of data come in, but it's for the positions that are out of line, not with market.
Yeah, so I think it needs to be said in the same breath. I know this sounds negative. But, you know, when you say, well, we'll look at here and then we'll adjust here, we never adjust out. If we missed and we were too high, we're stuck with that. And that's kind of how the arms race gets going. You know, it's like, well, then the other guy's got about $3 and now we gotta respond to that.
It's important for us to remember right now, everybody's always got wage increases here, and I love for everybody to make a good living. There's tens of thousands of our ratepayers that aren't getting
Yeah.
any wage increases at all.
Yeah. I'm trying to really get that message out as we put our budget together this year, that we need to keep that in mind. Our
The industry pays a wage scale that's well beyond most people's dreams.
30% of our customer base is fixed income.
There's no doubt. Just
We're
because,
declining income. Because their cost of living is going up, so their income's actually declining.
1%, I think I got.
well, it's very easy for us as a business, as a monopoly, to say, well, we'll just pass that cost along. We'll just go up an extra few percentage points, what's the big deal? But you're right, it's just, these folks can only take so much. And
That's how the state of Oregon
Well,
operates.
yeah.
We'll just pass that on. Somebody will come up with it and say,
we're different, and I try to get that across, we're different, and we're not just gonna.
I
do
just
that.
wanna plant that thought. We
Yeah.
need to be aware, a lot of people don't get any increases.
Yeah.
COLA's level, not even COLA, let alone
Yeah, you're right.
rate increase.
We're in a very unique job market.
It's not that I don't want people to make a good living, I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
but we just need to be mindful, somebody has to pay for this.
We'll come back with a more fleshed out proposal in September, this will be the second September meeting, so I think it's the 17th or something. Is that right? And we'll talk more about it then.
You know, quick last thought, you know, this thing about, we were talking about Ofuda here earlier, you know. Those aren't public meetings, I don't really see why you can't discuss this issue in general with them. That's not rate setting,
Yeah.
it's not colluding,
Yeah,
just to talk about, nobody's benefiting from this in a certain way, I mean, somewhat, I guess the workers
Yeah.
that way, but.
yeah,
You know, it can't go on forever, it's gonna
Yeah.
have to stop in some fashion, so,
that's a good point, we can do that. And
or at least be predictable, not, you know.
it's really the local one, it's kind of a game theory thing, so if we all agree, and then who's the one that's not gonna follow it, right? They're gonna have this huge advantage if they start paying higher wages all of a sudden, so. It's really hard to get the whole industry to say we're only,
Well, they're only gonna do that if it's a bad place at work.
that's true too, right? We get some leeway there because of the.
What do you, well, never mind, that's a different subject for a different day, never mind.
You sure?
I just wonder what union dues cost in general, is it a percentage of pay, does anybody know?
What?
What do union dues cost for utility workers?
I'm
Is it a
not-
percentage of their pay?
I don't
Is it a
even,
fixed rate?
I used to know what construction.
Well, is it
was.
significant?
It was like
That's all.
operators,
You're
10
still
years
using-
ago was $80 a month. It
Yeah,
was
okay.
significant.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
hundreds of
major.
dollars, I mean,
Yeah, it's-
But that's not major.
I bet it's
It is wage scales.
That's a lot.
I was just curious.
Probably 200, that's what I'm thinking.
$2,500 a year.
that is part of this equation too, because you know, if you're paying that much money, they expect to get something out of it, they're gonna continue to push on wages.
We could operate like Boley, have the unions come in and say what the new wages are gonna be, and then publish them as the prevailing wage rate. That's what happens.
I know.
Exactly.
The unions go into the
Oh,
state
yeah.
and tell them,
That's why our transportation costs are so.
right, it is. Anyway, that's my look, man.
All right, thank you, Alicia, we'll come back,
Thanks.
there's no easy topics today, so.
We have a little get through.
Or a little quick break, yeah, we can whip through this other stuff once we're back. I'm gonna make a request that we skip the safety program review, would that be? All right.
Bob's been working on that for 3 weeks.
That looks. We can come back, we can come back in September and do that. Oh, good. Okay, that'll save us some hard repairs.
Don't get hurt if you do, you know.
It's just an update on some things we're talking about.
He has to sign safety training, we have a policy, don't get any on,
5
if you
minutes.
do, push it off, what do you have?
5 minutes.
Five till.
Don't make it.
I'm sorry about that.
No, why about you, Sarah?
All right, we're gonna march through here. So Sarah's gonna talk about our investment policy. This is one of those that we review each year. So we've got a couple minor things to talk about.
Yes. So yes, as Kyle mentioned, this is one that we update every year, and that's per board policy in the appendix that talks about all of our policies. This one is a pretty easy one. There's a resource for us to match to. So we sync up our language and our investment policy with the Oregon Short-Term Fund Board template. If you might remember, if you were on the board a couple of years ago, we went through a major revision to sync up to their template, and that had to go through the Oregon Short-Term Fund Board. It was a whole process. And since then, we've just completed the minor updates to match their language. And it does change a little bit year over year, I've noticed, since we're kind of getting into a routine here. So our redlined version was included in your board materials, so I won't go through every little change. Yeah, but some language was modified just to match the template, so it was up to date. A couple of things that I thought were noteworthy of pointing out is that some of the added language includes giving us an option to establish an investment committee if we so choose. Also, there is something for the board to weigh in on, and that is a couple of options on an environmental, social, and governance policy. They range from no policy at all to, I'll let you read the other options because I figured I already knew the answer.
No,
Hey, following that, nope,
no,
So,
just
and
strike 9.4.
then.
Right.
Noted. Then a list of suggested documents that may be used in conjunction with the policy. That's one I'm gonna have to work through just a little bit. They include things like authorized users, which we might wanna do, and then a couple of other items that may only come into play if we have certain types of investments that I don't see us ever having. So, that language is in, the red line versions. I could take a peek at that, but I think it's flexible enough to have the language in there, and then we'll create documents as we see fit, according to our needs. And then the last one is, there were a couple of changes to what I would say the meat of the policy. And so the options that I went with kind of gave us the most flexibility, I felt. As far as how long we can have things invested or what percentage has to be invested in a certain maturity. I try to give us flexibility, but you know, our practice has been to really evaluate what's best for the district and our customers. So again, trying to give flexibility, but do the best by our customers. So that was all I had for a summary. Again, best resource is that red line version. We'll bring it back next month to the board for a vote, and I'll make that update on the ESG stuff, and I'm to take any other.
So would the investment committee be in-house? Like, I mean.
There's no guidance on that in the policy, so I guess the sky's the limit, but
So if you create an investment committee and someone didn't like it, committee liable?
I mean, we'd have to figure out all the legal ramifications of it, but
And that's why we got away from it.
You're gonna hire a day trader or what?
I mean, we don't have enough investment activity that would probably justify anything like that.
Yeah.
But typically what you would do is have like a third party advisor that would take most of that liability off your hands. We have that for our pension committee and other things.
Yeah.
we're so limited on what we can do.
Yeah. You just follow the guidelines.
That kind of surprised me though,
Yeah.
9.2.5. I maybe don't understand, but limiting investment in specific debt issuance. So it said we could have 50% U.S. agency securities, 100% corporate commercial paper,
Mhm.
or 25%. Isn't that really risky?
That seems like it.
It is.
I mean, it's kind of backwards to me.
Looks like May I stop.
100% corporate debt. Yeah,
AI stuff.
those are the state rules. I don't know how they.
And you're limited to 25% municipal.
There was the last time this became a big fiasco was the mortgage crisis. There was some language, I think, that allowed some mortgage-backed securities to be investment tools. That got a lot of these public agencies in hot water. So that's something to look at. I don't, we would never do that, but I'm surprised it's.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Really good point.
wouldn't think we would, but
Yeah.
so do you like LGIP or is that what you?
That's where we are right now, even with the, all of the borrowed funds.
It's
We
not
need to
that-
discuss what we wanna
Jobs
do.
to sell electricity to
Yeah.
people, it's not their invested
I know,
stuff.
so that's a state.
There,
I figure it's kind of a moot point, really.
we did
Yeah,
some,
but just looking in there, the rules.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they allow it.
we did do some other investments with the 2021 funds, and it was, we had a few challenges.
There's some restrictions on it when you take the money in and out, so.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
my favorite to manage on the accounting
I
side.
don't think I'm interested in anything like this.
No. The state pool honestly is actually pretty good. Yeah.
It's
and our-
really easy to.
Our mandate is to protect those.
Yeah,
Right,
First.
yeah,
yeah,
precisely.
yeah,
I don't see much point in really getting worried about it.
yeah.
No.
All right, we'll bring it back. in
There's
September.
your unofficial vote.
There you go. See you now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks, sir.
I see very little risk at this point,
All right.
but at least we have it written.
Consent agenda.
We got one more item.
Industrial rate.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna advance
stuff.
with 13. There we go. So Tyler's gonna handle this. So Tyler's our key account rep. You know Tyler, he's gonna walk us through what's going on.
When did you come over?
Got a way to go. I believe he's almost been here 20 years.
Wow. I remember you used to walk across the yard out there.
Oh, yeah, good time back then. So yeah, I want to talk about a new, well, it's a existing commercial customer that has slowly been incrementally adding some load, and they're about to hit the threshold that's 1,000 kilowatts that puts them onto an industrial rate schedule. Talk about how we developed the new rate for them and sort of the methodologies that went into it. This is for Witzel Manufacturing out there in Cottage Grove off Saginaw Road. They produce a variety of different wood products and ship most of the stuff down to California. They've got over 70 full-time employees and 2 production shifts a day and a swing shift. Over the last 5 years, they've kind of averaged about 800 kW, but over last year or so, they've kind of crept up towards that threshold of 1,000 kilowatts. Once they hit a megawatt, they're an industrial customer and they get a custom rate.
You're talking about an annual average megawatt?
This is a
Yeah,
coincidental peak
2019.
demand,
Okay.
so, yeah.
So they,
19 when they started?
So,
Yeah,
no,
fire.
they had a fire in 2018, so their load dropped off for a year or so. Before that, they were still under a megawatt, but they've been a customer
Their
for.
entire mill burned down.
Yeah, it was catastrophic. I remember
Yeah.
that.
They got paid.
They've been a customer a really long time. Yeah.
They got paid
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
trucking company because they shut the water off.
So,
The other side, yeah. Yeah, the piss match.
So in 2023, the board adopted a new large load policy. And that policy made it so that new 1 megawatt customers or more had energy rates. You guys changed this or something. Had energy rates to really recover all of the BPA tier 2 costs. So they have exposure to other or exposure to that tier 2 pricing. And that's really to shield the rest of our customer base from big data centers coming in and stealing up volunteer federal power. So so Witzel's background, they've been a longtime customer. They've, like I mentioned, they're about 800 kW demand. The last 5 years, and they've slowly sort of built up to about 1,000 kW. So because the increase is incremental and it's not from a big add-on or a big expansion at the mill, and because they're a longstanding customer, we are supporting the exemption from the new load policy, the new large load policy. The customers pay the embedded cost of energy, and it's our recommendation not to assign the NLL status to them. And Yeah, so that's where we're at. They're not a new large load. Their growth is marginal. They've been a customer for a long time.
So how long are you gonna leave it like that? I mean, is there like, if you go over a percentage of a 1 megawatt in a 3-year period, you're instantly into a commercial? I mean, how do you do that?
Industrial, yeah,
How do you do that?
I think you're there. Long haul.
It's a 36 month window.
36.
Okay.
Yeah, once you hit a megawatt twice over a 36-month period, you become an industrial customer. So yeah, that goes away for 36 and then go back down to 25T.
This process is just to establish the rate in preparation for that happening. And then, so what we'll do is we'll, if approved, we'll just set it to inactive. And it'll just be there, like, they may, who knows, maybe another fire will happen and they'll never go to 1,000 kW. But it'll be inactive and if, just in case they go over that threshold. And obviously, this is all shared.
That's correct. Yeah, I've been talking to Fred, the owner. So he's aware.
Are they expecting a rate decrease if they
Yeah,
do that?
I'll get into that here in just a couple more slides. So our process was to follow a standard approach to determine the revenue requirement for serving the load. So we engaged with GDS Consulting. They specialize in cost of service modeling for utility rate design. They assessed our revenue requirement by modeling our cost of service and ensuring that all costs were allocated. And what they came up with was they help us with the distribution charge, the electric system charge, the energy charge, demand charge. That's all fixed for all of our 6 industrial customers. So really the distribution charge is what they're helping us out with, and that's mainly a product of load factor. So the better the load factor, the lower the distribution charge would be. So GDS Consulting recommended a rate between 4 and 4.8 cents. And then we had our folks look at it and determine that a rate of right in the middle there at 4.36 would really make a net zero change for their rates based on their old rate schedule to this one. So it really made a lot of sense. We're right there in the center of where a third party thinks we should be. So we're proposing to nail it down right there and effectively have them no increase compared to their old rates.
Is it normal to negotiate rates with large industrial customers one basis?
People ask that a lot. We get a lot of data centers, Bitcoin miners coming in here and saying that.
Say when we had those Bitcoin people, it's a big.
Right.
They were telling us what they were gonna pay into, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They get the absolute wrong month.
Yeah,
they did.
I think a lot of PUDs do things differently, but a lot have just fixed rate schedules for anything over a megawatt. Ours is a little different. I think we're trying to get as close as we can based on the load factor of the. Right. So that's where we're at. We came up with distribution charge that's really not gonna impact them, just like that. Let everybody know. I'm not sure if there needs to be a.
Well, we'll bring it back
If they-
next month for.
If they continue to grow in size, how will that affect their rates down the road?
Oh, it's on this, never mind.
So good then.
Will there be savings
Forgot about that.
down the road into the schedule, or will it stay about the same, or?
So that's a good question, Rob. So if rates don't change, if their load stays the same, ultimately they're gonna get increases like the rest of our customers get increases.
Yeah, and they'll be part, let's say they go over that threshold this fall, they're an industrial customer, they'll be in our industrial class next year. And they'll be a part of our cost of service analysis, like our full set.
No, I get that.
Cost of service assessment, and maybe there'll have to be a little bit of an adjustment to their distribution rate. And like, you've seen that happen before, where like, these guys are a little overcharged, these guys are a little undercharged, and we're always kind of monitoring that, but if we're not gonna plan for them to be an industrial customer next year in our budgets, just because we really don't know like what month this is going to happen, so we're gonna plan for them to continue to be in general service, and as you can see, it's not going to. It shouldn't have a material.
Should change their classification almost immediately.
No, we're going to set it up in the system
I say.
to be ready.
Oh,
So it's approved by the board, it's ready to be assigned to them, but they're not eligible for it yet.
And when they get there, it's still gonna be the same rate though, basically.
Pretty much.
So now, these industrial customers, if they grow or beyond, let's say they double the size of their business, is that in time gonna come into our tier 2 rates with Bonneville? since it's new load to them,
So the way the policy.
conceivably, I mean.
Yeah, the way the policy is now is if they were to grow over megawatts next month,
Right.
then yes, we would
It
assign.
has to be all at
Well,
once.
that's a temporary kind of.
Yeah, but these guys.
They can slowly grow and add to our tier base.
Yeah, if it's marginal, like you talked
Got
about,
it.
then it doesn't.
See, like it has
Yeah.
So we will be talking probably within the next year about a rate for WAGA. That's a
Right.
customer that will be growing incrementally over a megawatt
Yeah.
and fully. Fully meets the definition of a new large load,
Yeah.
and so we'll have to talk about how we're going to apply that policy to them. And they will be our first customer that's like solid application of that policy.
Riverbend Materials is another one that's gonna add over a megawatt.
Oh, yeah, that's
in the
another
next
possible,
year, so
yeah.
I think Wagga's probably gonna be first, but.
What?
They're building a whole new rock crusher out there on the
I used
west
to
end
work
of
Up north, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
at Covert.
Yeah, the Coburg site, yeah.
So I misspoke. We actually do have this on the agenda for tonight to approve the rate schedule, but as Rob said, it's not gonna go into effect until they actually trip over. So I don't know. We wanna have this done tonight just to.
Just in case, I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of, it would be nice if it was done like in case they were to. Register 1,000 kW
To hit the threshold.
in September, right? And it's just, if you guys would feel more comfortable waiting a month, it's. You know, it's not likely, but it would be nice to have it in place. That makes sense?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's a 16B. If you want to, yeah, if you want to approve tonight, we're good. If not, we can bring it back next month.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the
We're a little early. You can do it if you want, but we're.
We can.
It's on the what's
On the agenda.
all right,
Thank you.
you betcha.
All right, thanks, Tyler. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you can make
Almost.
Let him get out of the road.
Sorry, that was too.
Just,
Jesus.
Should've told you. Should've told you.
consent agenda. That's the board meeting, the claims.
I move that we should approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Order and contract approvals.
Okay, we have one, which is an excavation contract. This is for one of the FEMA jobs that we talked about, Mohawk River Road. We're moving from overhead to underground service there. The competitive bid awarded this to Professional Underground Services, which is a contractor we use very frequently. Just over my signing threshold at $268,795.
Where is this? Mohawk River Road.
Mohawk River Road.
Of Marcola. Oh, put all that underground?
Not all of it.
Fish with the fish.
Problematic, actually.
These are all that.
To where?
I don't know the address, but probably the first third of it, quarter of it.
It's past Spring Lane.
Possibly.
No.
Motion,
I move we approve resolution 2025-20.
Second that.
you have a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's passed. Now, motions and resolutions, ordinances.
Okay, now you're up, Patty.
Okay, let's have a motion to approve the industrial rate proposed for whoever that was.
Yeah, 2025-21.
Thank you, 2025-21.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve 16A, 25-21. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you. So we'll keep that in reserve, and if they hit that threshold, we'll let you know that they're actually using the new schedule.
Okay, item 16B, BPA load following contract approval.
Yeah, just a small
Just
deal
a little
here.
item.
Usually we've talked about this 100 times, but this is actually the approval. Was that?
This is kind of the
This is the approval of the new load following contract to start October first. So the board has previously been on record that you want to have the product change. I think you voted a couple times on things related to this, so this is the actual contract. Rob and Wendy emailed this out to you last week. It's 160 page document.
Very well prepared, by the way. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you got it.
I'm glad you're halfway through it. Eyes got crossed.
Yeah.
Had to go off.
So this is making it very official that I will sign the new Bonneville contract and we'll operate with this for 3 years until the next product choice contract begins in 2028.
As of October 1 will be on load following. I move we approve a resolution 2025-22 to the BPA load following contract. Second that. Dale.
Dale
Second.
seconded
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Get that.
It's a big step. Thank you very much.
That was easy.
It wasn't bad at the end of the day.
It was the efficient part of it anyway.
We've been talking about that for over a year, so.
I'm glad you guys got that practice, because we're gonna do the provider of choice load following contract in like a month.
That's coming right up, yeah.
Coming, it'll be right around the corner.
A lot of UPA
It'll
talk.
be like the same process.
We spend a lot of money, but we would have spent it in a different way.
I know.
That's kind of weird, you know.
Review of motions. Wendy.
There's a motion to approve the consent agenda that was unanimously approved. A motion to approve resolution 2025-20, authorizing the general manager to enter into a contract for construction and excavation services. That was unanimously approved. A motion to approve resolution 2025-21, adopting the new industrial rate schedule. That was unanimously approved. And then a resolution 2025-22, authorizing the general manager to execute the load following amendment to the BPA power sales agreement unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Right on time.
The no public. Suggested items for future meetings.
I have one quick thing here. I noticed on the agenda coming up, the board meeting on Tuesday says 3 p.m. instead of 1 p.m. Just
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
to everybody.
That was fine.
Oh, it's fine. Just remind everybody, it's not 3, it's 1. So.
Yep.
In case somebody looks at this.
We'll get that updated and I'll send a big reminder beforehand.
Okay,
We need to bring a lunch or how's that work?
starts at 1. How big's your tummy?
I can eat it.
Well, we can have lunch. Come in at like 12:30 or something.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Bring
You gotta eat.
Bring your tuna and we'll cook it.
That's at lunch.
It's too good to waste on this crowd.
So the upcoming meetings and
cheap whiskey,
events.
A lot of shelter.
Thursday. BBC, is anybody?
You can do it virtually if you want.
WPC.
I'll be up with both of those.
I'll probably be up as well.
You will be?
Yeah.
And we have another board meeting September 16th.
16.
I forgot about the one Tuesday, so now.
What, and don't forget the OPUDA conference is
It's
the
at
9th,
September.
Oh, yeah, well,
9th through the
9th
11th.
to the
we'll have to put that on there. Yeah.
9, 10, 11.
Oh, yeah, that's a big skip.
That's the middle of the week.
Yeah,
It always is.
It always is.
Nobody has conferences on the weekend. Where have you been?
I'm the best guy.
Okay,
You're at Northern Moscow?
Yeah, the Dalles.
They've done it.
Yeah.
so then, item 21 sanctions update. We, as a board, sanctioned Patty for the event in Bonita, and we said we'd review them in September. This isn't quite September, but
I'll address it. I think that, actually, I asked Kurt to put this on the agenda. We were gonna talk about this and seeing how we're not gonna be together for in the middle of September, would be past 6 months, so. I think we had a change in policy and it was voted on unanimously, and I think that, we should lift the sanctions. That's my opinion is. And we got more things to worry about.
I agree.
I I agree too. That was awfully strange, you guys, and it was difficult for all of us.
Did we accomplish anything?
I don't know, Charles.
I know that the executive director of Midlane Cares is very upset that she wasn't allowed to make a public comment. I know that the entire board of Midlane Cares was upset that it even happened.
Well, I'm not talking about other people outside of our organization.
Well, so what are you asking, Charles?
Asking whether the sanctions were meaningful at all.
Yeah, they've been meaningful
And in what way?
in whatever way I wanted them to be meaningful. I haven't been able to go to events. I haven't been able to attend meetings that I would normally go to that represent my district. So yeah, they've been very meaningful. It's been harmful.
We let you attend the NWPPA conference, even though you were already sanctions. And apparently you registered for the Huda annual as well.
I think Wendy registered me.
Yeah,
Well, I'd just like to reiterate, we voted on a policy change and it was unanimous.
Right.
And I think that's what the option, I think that's what we'll.
And I think that's really good because if there is alcohol involved to have drivers or Ubers or whatever, I think that's wise.
We accomplished something.
Yeah.
And no, it was not easy for anybody.
I know that. I know that.
So how do we do this? Do we do it?
May as well vote, haven't we?
Yeah.
My opinion, which I tend to have one once in a while. I don't think, I think we've accomplished anything we're gonna accomplish. I think we have a lot more important issues right now to deal with. We'll always never agree on everything. We're not going to, and that's fine. I suggest we lift them. I also suggest we keep it amongst us.
Yes.
Not, I would prefer not spoken to anyone. I haven't. I don't want it out there anywhere. So whether you agree or not, for EPUDs, I just think we ought to put it behind us and go forward doing the good work that we've been doing. So that's my
Your 2
opinion.
cents worth, good.
Huh?
That's a good 2 cents worth.
Okay. So
Water under the bridge.
that's. So do we need to
Yes, we
vote
do.
on it? Was it a resolution? I can't remember.
Yeah, you voted on it.
Motion.
We voted on it. It was a motion.
I would propose that we end sanctions that we set out last spring.
Is there a second?
Not very well prepared, so
Starting now.
starting today.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Good. So now we go to this.
Thought we already were at the one.
Who'd you pay to have that name?
My friends gave it to me because I like to think there's always a lot of humor involved. So-
Right.
I'm sorry?
Gavelled out.
Oh,
Did you bang the gavel, old Presidente?
Whoa.